willful disobedience, and we'll say, the mental health is your thing. I teach math. And a lot of times that can be a factor from a lot of frustration from that teacher, and there are teachers who don't do that. But really what it comes down to is a collective sense of purpose in addressing mental health. And again, you need access to mental health professionals who know about this. School psychologists do. A lot of times school nurses know about it, school social workers, school counselors, but they need to be there. They need to be there when it happens. They need to be there to work with those teachers and say, tell me what happened. Let me do an observation. Let me see what those triggers are. Let's talk about some interventions given the context. Let's include the parents. So really it's an access issue.
And just one thing I'd add to that as these trainings take place, as these teaching and learning environments take place, if you have an SRO on your campus, you should absolutely include them in that. All too often they get left out and they never get exposed to those things because they're not seen as sort of law enforcement related when in fact they are.
Tammy, as a mom, I thank you for the question. I have a daughter that struggled with oppositional defiance disorder, so I understand and thank you for the question. We're going to take one last question, and you're the lucky lady.
Hi, I'm Etta Taylor from Oklahoma.
I can't hear you.
I'm sorry. I'm Etta Taylor. I'm the VP of Advocacy for Oklahoma, and our question is from the Oklahoma table. Is there any data supporting the use of teachers or administration being armed? We have some legislation that's going through the state right now, and it passed the Senate, I believe, this morning, and now it's got to go to the House. But is there any data supporting that teachers should be armed or administrators?
Not to my knowledge.
Do you want to talk about the importance of trained license?
There's this sense, and I suspect there are some former military or law enforcement people in here. There's almost a myth out there that if you have a gun and you wave it around, it's like a magic wand. You know, you have to know what to do with it. The training that goes into the decisions about when to use deadly force are incredibly complex and time-consuming. This is sort of my almost 40 years of law enforcement talking. This is not the official position of the Department of Justice, but I think it's one of the most absurd ideas I ever heard.
Thank you.
Eric?
I'll jump in real quick. I agree. That is a full resounding no to me. The research does support it. And again, we need to think about school safety more broadly. While it may sound insensitive, schools are incredibly safe. I know it sounds insensitive because a lot of times, especially now, there's this heightened sense of vulnerability. Some recent analysis found that 1 out of every 2.7 million students will be killed in school. And then any individual school will have a school shooting once every 6,000 years. And so the question is, do we fortress our schools or do we use our resources to address safety more holistically? That we make students just feel good walking into school.
You know, the Attorney General has had a working group for the last 2 years about defending childhood. And it has included discussions about children exposed to violence. And as horrific as the incidents are that have captured national attention, the statistic from his recently released report that in this country every day 9 children under the age of 18 are victims of homicide or suicide goes exactly to the point that Eric's making, which is that we have to discuss safety in a far more holistic fashion.
And if you will, please help me in thanking our expert panelists, Bernard Melekian, Dr. Eric Rossen, and Bill Bond. I also want to offer a sincere thanks to Assistant Secretary Delisle and the U.S. Department of Education for joining us. And I would ask Deb if she had any closing thoughts that she would like to share.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Just to take this common sense approach to school safety and to think about the total package of safety and nurturing our children. I can't underestimate the value of nurturing all of our children, that we give them hope for the future. Community partnerships are so essential to schools. Every teacher, every principal, every school administrator can't do it alone, and neither do they have the resources or the expertise to be everything to everybody. And we can only build stronger communities by building stronger schools as well. So again, thank you. You do the work of angels on earth. I appreciate it.
And thank you all for taking time out of your day.
Thank you. You want it up here or there?